Well, good day, everybody. Here we are at Alchemy Within from Out Amongst the Stars. I'm Diana, and today we have Gail Ward with us from Relax and Shine. You can find her on Instagram and Facebook. And Gail's intuitive and also a card reader. She works with the Oracle. And we're going to talk a little bit today about our fall equinox, Sun going into Libra, which will be happening on Saturday on the 23rd of September, and just the shift in energy out of the Virgo season we've just been in. So yeah, hello, Gail.
Hello, lovely to be here with you, Diana, today.
Thank you.
And
Yes.
Gatsby, who's now just made an appearance. So there's always some pet in my house wanting to
Yeah.
get on screen. So it's so lovely to be here with you today. And this alignment that we're coming into, it felt really timely to be joining you at this time. So thank you for the invitation to be with you and to share and understand the astrology weather, and look forward to hearing what you would like to share, and for both our communities, and look forward to spending this time together.
Yeah, thank you so much. So what I'll do is I'll bring the chart up, the current chart, and we will share the screen with that. So here we are with our chart. So for September 23rd, as you can see, the sun is at 0 degrees in Libra. So it's just going in. And then I have the transits just for the full moon that's coming up next week, just in case we want to take a sneak peek into that. But yeah, so we've just been in the Virgo season, and still leaving the shadow of our Venus retrograde and our Mercury retrograde. And so I felt like this was just totally aligned to Libra season partnership to come together and talk a little bit about, the astrology of where we're headed into. So I don't know if everyone's felt in August, like I feel the difference, with like, let's clean everything up and, get ready for fall. And the cardinal sign of Libra is that initiation into that harvest energy of Libra. It's the the fall equinox. And in fact, actually what's really cool is so I believe it's at 12:49 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. So for you, I believe that would be in the UK, 7:49 a.m. And everyone can adjust for their own time zone. So yeah, 12:49 a.m. would be 2:49 a.m. Eastern. So if you want to get up in the middle of the night, what you can do is you can stand eggs up and they will stay because our energies are balanced. So we're in that whole balancing energy of that Libra. So for a few minutes you can actually get an egg to stand on end. Isn't that interesting?
Wow, that's incredible. So can I ask, Diana, are you in the Northern Hemisphere? Can I just clarify for the viewers here? Are you also in the Northern Hemisphere?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I am. Yeah,
And,
I'm in the north. Yeah, so going into fall. So anybody in the Southern Hemisphere, of course, I have a daughter whose family is from the Southern Hemisphere, and we have other friends over there. So I noticed today people were getting excited about welcome to spring. So on that end of the world, yeah. Now, as far as the astrology goes, anybody who's really been in it for a long time, they don't notice issues with using, this tropical Western astrology with the whole sign houses, which is what I'm using to do astrology readings in particular. There may be some people out there who are, trying different things, but for actual readings for people in the blueprint of their archetypes, it hasn't been an issue to use this Northern Hemisphere based chart for that. We just, when we talk about it, have to acknowledge that, yeah, there are people going into fall into spring as we go into fall. Yeah. So now this is also interesting as we move the sun into Libra is on July 17th, we had the nodes move in to the axis of the North Node into Aries from Taurus as they move in reverse, and from the South Node from Scorpio into Libra. So we're going to be feeling, I think, a lot of shift and change with this now sun illuminating that. And we also have the Mars there, and see, as you know, even going a week ahead, they get even a little bit closer, the Mars in the South Node, and the sun will be illuminating partnerships. But of course, South Node is more of the departing energy, right? So we're really focused, I believe, now for this next month on our partnerships and what's working and what we may need to let go of. And all the various, different, like not just relationship, but business relationships, and any places that you've been collaborating with certain things that aren't flowing. And it's not like everything is, coming to an end, but it's just something to keep in mind, I feel. That might affect, how we go forward into the next phase, because we're going to have an eclipse, like an actual, we'll have a full moon in Aries, but we're going to have an eclipse in October. And that affects, of course, that's with the nodes, right? So that eclipse energy is going to be a lot of faded things that are kind of out of our control, that change things. Do you have any questions so far?
Yeah, thank you for sharing. What comes up for me around hearing about the eclipse energy is it's usually a really powerful time of transformation when we go into eclipse season, and it's slightly earlier, is it, this year, because it's in October?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's October 14th, and then the next one will be 2 weeks later. Where I know last year, they were in October into November.
Yes. So that I'm really curious about if you have any tips, to share with the viewers around, how they can navigate that eclipse period, and maybe there's something that you have with your astrological knowledge that can help, identify what those look like, and if there's tools or tips to transverse them with ease and grace.
Yeah. Well, like honestly, that's the whole thing about the eclipses, is that if you feel that there is something in any kind of partnerships that are coming to an end, and that it might be time, is just to allow, right? Just to allow that to come up, because we have the North Node in Aries, so that's the opposite axis of our Libra. And that North Node is, maybe something that we're potentially working towards. And it's more focused around self. Aries is initiating energy, and it's very much, working towards how we can be seen, and as whatever it is that we have initiated probably over the last year or so, right? We kind of worked through that Taurus and Scorpio axis, which was bringing some more grounded energy. But the North Node in Aries is now initiating exactly what it is that we want to do for us, and taking charge of that. So yeah, if there's been something that's been bubbling under the surface, it's sort of like that pioneering idea, really asserting yourself towards whatever it is that you're being called to do for your own self. And the, the nice part is that with this sun in Libra, like in this month, that might be getting, being able to allow yourself to shine, but in collaborations and in harmony and balance with others, right? Like, so there could be some things that are falling away, but also there could be new collaborations like we're doing here that just sort of, came about very, randomly and suddenly. And we took initiative, like, with that North Node in Aries, we just took initiative to like bring this together because we felt like it was the right thing to do. So you want to just, maybe not hold yourself back if you're feeling like initiating that certain thing, and or connecting with other people. It could have, even to do with relationships. So I kind of excited about this this new 18-month cycle of the Aries and Libra axis. And another thing is that you can go back to like 19 years ago, because the nodes, they shift around the whole cycle of our astrology charts in a 19-year cycle. So in 9 years you would have them opposite, where in this particular phase we're in right now, we could go back to what was happening in, say, 2005 into into 6 type of thing, right? Or 2005 into 6, I believe it is. Yeah, and see what was the theme going on during that time. Yeah, so that's good to look at too.
Yeah, it's really interesting, isn't it, when we go back and redo and look at the past and see the themes and the patterns that we were dealing with, and they come back round again. So
yeah, and you start, when you start to track, like I suggest, for people to journal with the dates every day and start to track, if they're into astrology, what's happening in a certain astrological aspect, or kind of the whole theme, because you can then start to help yourself. So if you're more in a action oriented theme or something that might be coming up, and it also depends on the houses that you're the Libra sun, we're going into that, and with the node there, and then also this particular chart, the current chart here, which was for my area, it's showing up in the 4th house. So you want to look at where is your Libra house, and then what that house signifies. So just as an example, the 4th house is typically your roots and ancestry and home, and all of everything to do with where you're living, and the home and family, and focused just on where you're living at the time. And so if something was shifting there, it could mean a move, right? It could mean there potentially could be a move. And then the 10th house is our legacy, our career, like how we're seen out in the public world, the public reputation that we have. So that's just an example of what those houses show. So yeah.
It's so exciting. I'm really pleased to be discovering the deeper parts of astrology, and to meet you with your depth and wisdom. So yeah, just understanding that what the houses mean, it is a journey in itself, isn't it? So maybe that's another video where we could explore that, and you share the meaning of the houses for the viewers who are just discovering where their planets are.
Yes.
And
no, I'd be happy to do that for sure.
Yeah, it's such a powerful tool, isn't it? When, for me, I understanding my traits and understanding where my, where I've come from, and the evolutionary aspects of the axes. I discovered, who I thought I was is totally opposite from, what I've been focusing on for. And so now this has been a huge focus for me, understanding my North Node, and integrating all elements of the South Node and the North Node, and bringing a more fuller aspect of myself as I've matured. So there's lots to learn, isn't there? And it's
oh my goodness, it's never it's never ending. And I guess that's why I'm so fascinated with it, because it's just a never ending learning journey. And I love, like, hearing people's stories about how, particular, transits may have shown up for them. So that's why I love to do the one-on-one readings, because then you can actually see, in a real life experience, how something may have come about and shown up, for sure. So yeah, now, like, if you want to just even we could just do a quick, I could do a quick sort of signification of, what the sun in Libra is in particular. And we're going into the equinox, which is more of that, I guess, the sect of the chart. So in this first sect, it's about self. In this, in the second sect, it's about relationship, say, and that goes along with the theme of our Libra sun. And typically, if you want to use some keywords for the archetype of that Libra sun in particular, it's more concerned with the balance and harmony and relationship and fairness and justice and beauty and aesthetics and our value and what we value. And it can be it's ruled by Venus, the planet of love and beauty and value as well. And a lot of times when you have that Libra sun, people want to consider the other more so than before they make their own choice for themselves, right? So they always are like trying to balance life, and sometimes it often can be that they even stay in relationship too long because they're always considering the other, or when they're trying to work through something, they'll want to bounce it off another, right? And it is an air sign as well, so often they'll want to talk things out, and also keep in mind that they are considering always the other. So you have to be careful with potential codependency, right? And trying to keep the peace for the sake of everyone else. And being that that whole peacemaker is a great quality of Libra. It's but it's also, then you don't want to do it to the detriment of yourself. And so that North Node in Aries is, like I said, more focused on self. So we have to always keep that in mind when you're considering what the sun, and as we go into this full moon, like what it's going to be illuminating for you in consideration of relationship compared to self, and finding a way to integrate both of those, so you're not feeling like you're trapped in relationships you don't want to be in, or that you want to get caught up in different patterns and cycles of that, always considering the other first. So just something to keep in mind, especially with the South Node there. Yeah. So I don't know if there was any other questions that you had.
Yeah, what that brings up for me is the people pleasing sort of element. I just where can the people pleasing be out of balance? Is that part of codependency as well? Can that, it's like, where does it sort of slide over in that, with the scales of Libra being the balance? So it's keeping that equilibrium, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then it
Yeah.
sounds like the Virgo is the I am, isn't it? Virgo is the I am, is the individual. So we've kind of got the collective. I feel like the Libra is the collective in a way, and then the Virgo is the individual.
Yeah. The Virgo likes to be of service.
Oh yes,
Always
yeah,
to be of
yeah,
service. Yeah, more so than, yeah, the Leo's more of an I am. But the Virgo really loves, they're ruled by Mercury, and they are the ones who want to put everything in order. They want to
yeah,
look after the details. The trouble is they can be highly critical because everything has to be perfect, right? They want
mm,
everything to be perfect and in order and organized and details all handled. And so that's why they're always really good in service kind of oriented jobs, because they're like in the background making things happen, like all, all the minimal details. And also, there's that element where they have to watch though their perfectionism, um, and also look, it's very oriented around health as well, so making sure that they're looking after their health too, and not be too critical, like just watch the mind. It rules the nervous system, the Virgo does. So yeah, where you're yeah, Libra has a completely, you know different energy, because they um they work together with somebody in kind of in a more balanced way, rather than being, of service to them type of thing. Yeah, but can be over, like also, over people pleasing. That's the thing, and they're more concerned about, the appearance of certain things. So they just have to be mindful of, what they're doing in order to overcommit. But you come in knowing how to harmonize and how to balance and how to be in relationship, but also have to, have the courage to take initiative for what they want, as opposed to, and they might be too afraid to rock the boat to looking after what they want in that particular relationship or in life in general. So that's part of the North Node in Aries, is learning that, how to put yourself first, and at the same time as, keeping that, not be codependent, and keeping that balance and harmony in their world. So yeah,
it's such an exciting, I feel like it's a really exciting next 18 months, well, it'll be less than 18 months now, and for us to learn, like it's like we're learning and growing these new
it
ways
is.
of being, isn't it?
Yeah,
So,
yeah, because yes, that Taurus access is, about the five senses, and about the earth, and and the Scorpio is diving deep under the ground, where the Taurus is, making sure everything, all you're nurtured with your, food and their comfy things and all of those kinds of things. And we do see the Uranus there, and we see some shakeups with that, where when we go into this North Node in Aries, people are going to start to look at, not just those comfortable places, or diving, deep in the undergrounds of what was coming up, from that death and rebirth transformational Scorpio energy, but they're going to be looking at now the North Node, like, what is it? Who am I? And what is it that I want to do? And how do I want to do this in collaboration and collectiveness? And as we spoke about before, what's really interesting too is, with our Pluto sitting right here at the end of Capricorn, it will be moving into the Aquarius, and that's also about working collectively for humanity and community, but also being your individual self and doing it sort of different out of the box, in the way, like from the grassroots up. And so yeah, it definitely is a shift that we're seeing, um, and this North Node in Aries is going to help us, get there. So all those things that we're calling to your soul, the who I am, it will be definitely on the forefront. And as we have the sun illuminating that Libra house, it'll be how are we shifting our partnerships and every aspect, our work, our relationship, our romantic ones potentially, and all those kinds of things. So um yeah, so I'm wondering if you want to uh take over I can stop the share on the chart and you can take over the screen to do your readings, or we can pull some cards on it. That would be really fun, as long as there's no more yeah, things we want to look at here. Trying to be mindful of the time.
Yeah, it's just a wonderful oversight to have that detail and understanding. I followed the nodes, but I don't have that much detail. So it's so wonderful for you to share this today.
Oh, yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. I love working with the nodes. I actually love helping people understand, because it's not, yes, we're going towards the North Node. And, yes, we came in kind of knowing certain things around the aspects of the South Node, but it isn't just cut and dried, right? Like, there's that integration. They're opposing forces, and there is that integration of it. Like, you have to keep that in mind. And as we spoke about, with the Virgo, personally, I can't let go of all the Virgo and go straight into Pisces, because then, you just be kind of get caught up in the oneness, right? So, yeah, it's
Yeah,
interesting to see
yeah,
how they
it's so yeah, it's so good to know that about you, and to honor those parts, isn't it? Because
yeah,
they are all parts of you, and where I may have rejected those parts that I wasn't owning, it's like,
absolutely.
and I noticed that Gatsby is not letting go of my lap. So there's something interesting about this codependency. The Libra energy is already maneuvering in my pet's life.
Yeah, well, you know what though? They know when you need that comfort too. And and they are giving us all the comfort. Yeah, he's here to
So,
keep us all in comfort and a nice, yeah, part of our community.
and I think
Yeah.
you will go back to my daughter just after after the equinox. So when this is filmed, we're kind of just at the end of the Virgo energy, aren't we? So
Yes. Yeah.
yeah, so it's going to be very interesting, this transition over the next, as by the time that this film goes out, when it comes out, we'll be already in that energy, won't we? So
Yeah, into the Libra. Yeah. So we'll just, I don't know if people have, yeah, will feel the shift, but it's great when you're mindful of that, because then you kind of see, oh, how is it, you know, how is it affecting your life in your own, in your own little world too, right? The shift from, okay, we've got to
yeah,
get organized and clean, and you people are getting ready for school and getting ready for, winter, getting ready for spring, depending on where they are, and getting all the things. And then all of a sudden, with the shift into Libra, it's like, oh, okay, so where are we, wanting to make things more harmonized and beautiful and in balance and find more balance. Yeah. So are you going to pull some
so
cards?
I would like to work with the Rose Oracle for this reading today, and I'll draw a rose card for the collective. I think that was a really good suggestion, to see what the energy is, what the energy wants to come out, and I'll ask for this guidance for to be linked to the equinox energy. And then I've got a couple of other polls that I'd like to do for there's two ladies that have asked from the community to have a card pull, and if there's anyone else in your community that might like one, then the collective is helpful, isn't it? So I'm just
Yeah.
shuffling. I've been working with the Rose Oracle for about 12 months, and as we are moving towards more of this co-collaboration, it's like the divine feminine, this Rose Oracle has really called me. So
Yes. And look at our shirts. We didn't plan that.
did we? Oh,
Yeah,
so
we're all about I mean, mine's not rose. Yours is more rose colored, but it's still close.
but yeah, we're in working with our heart energy, the coherence of the
Yeah.
heart. So
Yeah.
this one is coming out for the collective, which is interesting. It's the words the wastelands, and it's probably there's too much reflection on my lighting here, but I might be able to just take a picture of it and pop it up for you for later. It's not very clear in that on that camera, but so the wastelands, and I'm just going to see if it's like, yeah, if I can describe it. There's quite a lot of if I read it from the meaning, then we might actually get more of a description from
Of the essence of it. Sure. Yeah, that sounds good.
And so the main meaning of this is sustainability. Slow down, tend to your garden. That's the message that wants to come out for the collective. So that's interesting, isn't it?
Yes. As we go into the harvest of the equinox season. Yes. Isn't it?
And there's quite a lot of words with this. So I'm just, pick out what feels relevant. As if I bring this energy here, there might be just one word that feels relevant for this card. So the message is there's an anonymous 13th century French myth in the form of a poem called the Elucidation that tells the story of a king who abuses the land he's supposed to be the guardian of. The king breaks the trust of the well maidens, the spirits who were guarding the wells of the land, and they flee. The waters run dry, the planets wilt, and the land, which was once rich and fertile, becomes barren, creating a wasteland. This is the most powerful card in this deck, and this deck is the Rose Oracle by Rebecca Campbell. I don't think you can see
Rebecca Campbell. Yes.
Beautiful oracle. And so it's a wake-up call for us to stop this destructive behavior that's resulting in us becoming brittle and unable to live in a sustainable way.
Wow.
The sacred
so interesting.
Yeah, the sacred feminine is abundant, and she knows that the earth can provide for what we need, and that she doesn't need to take more than she needs. She tends the earth around her and within her, and she's the keeper of balance and the protector of all living things. Wow. So there we have the Libra energy. We have the balanced word. So that's interesting.
Oh yeah. No, for sure. And that is also picking up on the energy of the Uranus, the change and the shakeup in Taurus, and coming towards Jupiter, which is the expansion of like our world getting shook up and us getting back to looking after our earth.
And so the final paragraph is, the rose has seen civilizations come and go, empires rise and fall. In this card, she's delivering an urgent message to slow down and stop any way of being that's not sustainable. To release anything that's making it as brittle, to tend our garden, our bodies, and the earth around us. And the soul inquiry is asking us all, what way of being is no longer sustainable for you?
Oh yeah, perfect. Perfect for the Libra energy and the South Node, and with Mars there of what's not sustainable for you.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
And then, gosh, that's so apt. And I feel a lot of the Taurus energy in that with the with the land as well.
Absolutely. But that is a underlying for us in everything right now, as Uranus and Jupiter come closer together.
And so I'm going to draw a card for Annie, and Annie's card is this. Thank you for being with us, Annie, and your support is really gratefully appreciated as we all grow and we rise together here. And so your message is surrender to the mystery, fall into her arms. And the message from Great Mother is, let me give you an overview, and I will pop the meaning in your messenger, so you have the full detail here for you. And the Great Mother ushered you in, and when you took your first breath, and she'll be there when you draw your last. She knows how challenging life on earth can be, and that at times being human can be painful, lonely, and confusing. That the polarity and separation can be difficult when your soul remembers the oneness of Source, but at the same time it can be incredibly glorious and sweet. And so the soul inquiry for you is actually Rose transmission, and she wants to give you these words. I'm ready to embrace the extremes of my life. I lay all that I'm carrying onto the altar and fall into the Great Mother's arms. It's a beautiful transmission. So that's for you, Annie. I'll pass the message over for the remaining words that might be relevant for you. And as we come to completion, I'm just going to take my last card for Jan. And Jan's been a brilliant support in the community over the last 12 to 18 months. So I appreciate everything that you do. And let me see what Rose wants to bring for you today. And your message, Jan, is Rose without thorns. It's very difficult to see the reflection, but I can pop that in Messenger for you. And the message for you, Jan, is Rose without thorns. You have a right to your joy, peace, sweetness of life. So that's a beautiful message as you transition the next few months, the changes that I know you're going through as well. Let me get the meaning up for you. And so most roses have thorns that protect the planet. When you walk past, it is so easy to get caught on their spiky stems, as if the thorns themselves are an initiation for the observer to get to the breathtaking beauty and scent of the queen of all flowers in full bloom. Isn't that beautiful? And your Rose transmission is, I have a right to my joy. I appreciate and drink in the sweet nectar of my life. So beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
so
very nice messages that others can take in as well. And if anybody wants Gail to pull cards for you, we'll put all of the contact info if you want to get a reading from Gail, and we'll definitely have the community links there as well. And I'll have a link for my community if people want to join that. I post a lot of different astrologers' viewpoints on the different transits and stuff, because as I'm learning too, it's helpful to get all the different perspectives, and people can pick out the different bits that resonate with them, because a lot of times we're just sort of the astrologers, when they're doing a general reading, they pick the kind of the main themes of the archetypes that are expressing, but everybody's chart is unique, right? And there's one thing to keep in mind when you are looking for a general reading, from a YouTube channel, and they're doing all 12 signs, to look at your rising sign first. Typically they'll have that and because they're connecting with the different house placements, and so they'll have the rising sign in the first house, and then that'll make it correlate with your different houses in particular. So rising sign first, and then you can also take in the sun and the moon energies. But yeah, so that's wonderful. Thank you so much for those messages in the collective, and we will post them in the communities. And I hope that we can meet again and potentially we can do this live next week. Hopefully that'll work out, that we can do this for our full moon, and we can go on live so that we can have some interaction with, you know, people out there in you know, who are on YouTube at the time, and potentially we could even do a few small mini reads. We'll see how it goes. This is all new for us too, so yeah.
It's so wonderful. I'm really blessed to have this connection with you, and I'm really appreciating your Gemini. You know, like if I can share your Gemini sun sign.
My Gemini sun, yes. Oh,
Blessing.
yeah, I'm good with that. And my Aquarius rising, and I am a Sag moon, which we're in Sag moon today. The big, yeah, the big picture. Everything sometimes is the big picture. But I and you know, always like to connect with people and love being in community as well. So
Yeah,
very full of air.
yeah, it's so wonderful, and it's like I just felt like the connection is like really spontaneous, but so aligned, and yeah, wonderful to share with you. And I'm so grateful that we got this opportunity, and thank you for, you know, for taking care of the technology, and we can grow together and provide,
Yes.
you know, we can go further information, as they say, geese find further information. So
Absolutely. I appreciate all your intuitive Scorpio energy and your Leo moon. Yeah. Who loves being on, yeah, who's good with being on camera. So that's something too. So thank you so much, Gail, for doing this with me today. And we shall reconvene again. And until next time, everybody, bye for now.
you again. Bye-bye.